inside AI.
Tattoos are permanent. It's one of the few things we do in our modern lives that truly lasts forever. You can change your job, your city, even your name, but a tattoo, that's for life. So naturally, we decided to give this incredibly personal, permanent decision to an artificial intelligence. What could possibly go wrong? The process started with a data dump. We fed the AI a massive amount of personal information. Not just the simple stuff like my name or where I'm from. We gave it everything. My deepest fears, my most cherished memories, the themes that have defined my life, the stories I tell myself. The idea was to see if a machine could understand a human soul well enough to brand it onto skin. The AI went to work, crunching all that data, analyzing centuries of symbolism, art history, and tattoo styles. It was like a digital apprentice with access to all human knowledge. Within minutes, it started spitting out designs, dozens of them. The first few were, well, a bit generic. You could tell it was pulling from popular Pinterest boards. A wolf howling at a moon, a compass, an infinity symbol. Things you've seen 1,000 times. Then things got a little weird. Some designs were genuinely unsettling, like abstract nightmares pulled from the deepest, darkest corners of its algorithmic brain. They felt cold, alien, and completely disconnected from the humanity we had fed it. But then, among all the digital noise, one design stood out. It wasn't because it was the most beautiful or the most technically complex. It stood out because it felt right. It felt personal. Looking at it, I could see fragments of my own stories woven into the lines and shapes. The AI had found a visual language for my experiences that I hadn't been able to articulate myself. It was a strange and powerful moment, seeing a piece of my own identity reflected back at me from a machine. This was the one. This was the design we were going to tattoo. But before any needles touched skin, we needed a reality check. We took the AI's chosen design, along with a few of the other contenders, to a professional tattoo artist, a human expert, someone who lives and breathes this art form every single day. We laid the designs out on her table, and almost immediately she started pointing out the problems. She wasn't being critical of the idea. She was looking at it with a practical, experienced eye. She pointed to a cluster of incredibly fine lines. These will bleed together in a few years, she explained. They'll just become a blurry mess. She traced over a complex, delicate shape this part. The skin will stretch and move over time. This shape won't hold. It'll look distorted. The AI, for all its intelligence, had designed in a perfect two-dimensional vacuum. It had no concept of skin as a living, breathing, aging canvas. It understood pixels, not pigment. It knew about vectors, but not about the way a human body changes over a lifetime. The artist saw what the AI was trying to say. She understood the symbolism, the core idea behind the design. And that's where the real magic began. She didn't throw the AIS work away. Instead, she became its collaborator. She started sketching, reinterpreting the design. She thickened lines where they needed to be bold. She simplified shapes so they would age gracefully. She adjusted the composition so it would flow with the natural contours of the body. She fixed what the AI broke, but she was careful to preserve the soul of the design. The meaning remained intact. It was a fascinating process, a human artist acting as a bridge between a digital concept and a physical reality. Then it was time. The stencil was on, the machine was buzzing, and the needle came out. Suddenly this wasn't a theoretical experiment anymore. This was real. This was permanent. As the artist worked, carefully tracing the lines, a profound realization started to sink in. I could feel the sharp, rhythmic sting of the needle, a sensation the AI could never comprehend. It doesn't understand pain. It doesn't understand the commitment of permanence, the weight of a decision that will last a lifetime. As the hours passed and the tattoo slowly took shape on my skin, it was clear what was happening. The AI had generated the initial spark, the raw, conceptual idea, but it was the human artist who saved it. She rescued it from its digital imperfections and translated it into a language that could exist in the real world. She gave it a future. Looking at the finished tattoo, it doesn't look digital. It doesn't look like it was designed by a machine. It looks and feels like a real tattoo, born from ink and skin and a little bit of pain. It has texture, depth, and a human touch. Now, weeks later, it's all healed. The lines are crisp and the meaning is just as strong as the day I first saw the design. It's a constant reminder of this whole experiment. So what did we learn? This wasn't a story about AI replacing a human artist, not at all. It was something far more interesting. It was a story about AI forcing an artist to adapt, to problem solve, to elevate their craft in a new way. The AI created a new kind of challenge, and that, I believe, is a glimpse into the future, The future of creative work isn't about replacement. It's about pressure. It's about new tools pushing us to be more creative, more thoughtful, and ultimately more human. The AI can give us the what, but it still needs us to figure out the how, and more importantly, the why. Thanks for coming along on this weird and wonderful journey. If you found this as fascinating as I did, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more experiments at the intersection of technology and humanity. We'll see you in the next one.